For good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another 42 Level 1. I'm one of your hosts, Alice Kennedy, and here with me, as always, the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the Uncharted 3 liar and denier, the man of many names, but we just call him one, Andy.
Mr. Andy Urquhart here as always. And yes,
and
I did quit YouTube Premium, but not YouTube. YouTube is still here.
yeah, and we I didn't call this YouTube. Andy quits YouTube, did I?
No, but from last week's show.
Ah, of course.
It was a callback, Ali. A callback, you see.
It wasn't last week. It was like a month ago. So, we have just done our Nintendo Direct coverage and our State of Play coverage. Check out those videos if you want our opinions, but nothing very exciting there. We're here to talk about what we've been playing, though, Andy. And I've been playing a ton of things because obviously writing. We played a game. Both finished the game.
Yeah.
That you've got in your background there.
A game.
It's not really. It's not a game. It's not going to my games this year.
No.
Do you want to talk about it because you know more about it?
I mean, I don't know that I know more about it, but I have more experience with these type of games because this is your first one of these. But yeah, the game we're talking about is called Immortality. And this is by the same guy that did Her Story and Telling Lies, which I loved Her Story. And Telling Lies was okay. But basically the format of these games is you're watching video clips and try to piece together some kind of mystery. And in those previous games, you've used a keyboard to type and search. But in this game, there is no keyword searching. This one, you're clicking on images within video files, which is kind of weird, but interesting. And it definitely works better on a console because of that. Because if you're typing on a console, keyboard, it's no good. It just takes too long and the game's not fluid enough. But the likes of those two games are perfect for PC because you're sitting at an interface and just typing stuff into a computer. Perfect, absolutely works fine. I don't know if those came out on. I think they did come out to console, but I wouldn't imagine they would be particularly fun to play because you'd be having to type stuff all the time using the on-screen keyboard, and that's just not a fun experience whatsoever. But this one is more inclined to this, and this is on Game Pass, Immortality, and it's basically you're trying to solve a mystery of what's happened to this woman who made 3 unreleased movies at some point over her life, and these movies have been kind of uncovered, and you're trying to work out what happened because there were some bad things that happened during the course of these movies, and you're working out the mystery what happened to this woman. Now the movies are interesting actually. I mean, I don't know that I liked them, but they were weird and watchable enough. But you're watching them in weird formats. So one clip will maybe be 2 minutes long, and it'll just be a reading of the script. So you'll be just sitting watching the characters reading through parts of the script, and then you'll find another clip of the next scene, and it'll be an actual take from the movie, because obviously these are unfinished movies, so you're kind of piecing them together from different cuts of different things. But I find that kind of format really interesting actually, and sometimes you'll see them do multiple takes in one. So they'll do a take and then they'll try it again. They'll be like, we'll just try that again. And there'll be a better or a worse performance of it. And then from there, you're then having to sort of pause the movie and go and click on a face or click on an object, and that'll take you to some kind of related other clip. So it will take you to a different clip of an actress or an actor or an apple. You click on an apple and it will take you to another scene in a movie with an apple. And it could be from the same movie or it could be from one of the other movies, which is kind of cool to see that. So you're there's 2 movies that are shot in the late 60s, early 70s, and then there's one that's from 1999. And I liked the 1999 movie. I thought it was a cool movie. I would have watched that movie definitely. And the other 2 were really, really weird movies. One is about a priest that may or may not have raped somebody. I'm not sure he raped somebody, and then he got done for it basically, and then ends up dying. And then the other one is about the other one was a detective one, which you liked the detective one. Just thumbs up, nothing else. There's a kind of detective story, which is a murder mystery about a guy who
I
was
like
an
the actor.
artist,
I like
Minsky.
the actor.
Hmm.
And
Which one?
yeah, this guy was the detective actor.
Oh, okay, right.
I thought it was kind of cool. Do you know what? Like, I reviewed this. It's on the Xbox Hub. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I can't compare it to anything. That's what I said in my review. There's nothing really to compare it to. Even the games that you spoke about aren't similar to this. This is its own thing. It's more of an experience than a video game, though. Like, the gameplay elements, I say that lightly. You could easily have a collection like this brought out to Blu-ray and use the remote, for fun, like piece together the movie. Have a detective movie brought out like this where you have to piece together the scenes.
Yeah.
And I had fun doing it. And the first time that I got one of these creepy scenes, like some woman speaking to me, I'm not going to ruin how to get it or what the end plot is, but basically her whole time and space spiel, it just felt like a cutscene from an old Doctor Who episode. Like, the whole thing is cheesy and camp, but it really did feel cool, like starting with the talk show and going forwards. And once you figure it out, though, it's very simple. And my ending to the game, it just kind of happened. Like, I was middle watching a scene, it just went, achievement unlocked, you found the mystery. I'm like, I found out what had happened like half an hour beforehand, but I don't know if the game had clocked on, or I don't know if you have to watch a certain amount of scenes before it will allow you to get the ending. And I still don't really know what happened, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the experience. I had it down on my 24 games list, as you know, and I thought about it. I went, this wasn't a game, and that there's no problem with it not being a game.
Yeah,
It just,
I mean, yeah, it's kind of up to you what your definition of a game is, and like this kind of is. You could kind of loosely call it a game, but I can see what you mean by you not wanting to call it a game. I also wouldn't put it on my
I
list
didn't
either.
do anything. There was no skill involved.
Having said that, I did enjoy it. It was good.
Well,
This is coming to Netflix, actually.
yeah, that
Like coming to
proves my point,
Netflix,
like,
Netflix mobile. So like you'll be able to play it on your phone.
which is weird,
so-
right? Okay, so we'll talk of that just now because, like, I'd never used this before, and there's a game that I still need to start that you control with your eyes, and it won awards. And basically, I looked in the App Store. I'm like, I can't fucking find this, and it's like, you need to have Netflix. I'm like, but I do have Netflix. You have to go on the Netflix app and click on it, and it takes you to a link that's hidden from the rest of the App Store, but it'll take you to your App Store or Play Store, and then you can download it like a normal game. So I always had in my head that I'm going to be playing this through Netflix, but you don't. You download it to your phone or tablet, and it's sitting there. So when they said that they're partnering recently with Assassin's Creed to bring Assassin's, I'm like, that's okay. I'll try that then, because in my mind, I was going to have to play this while watching Netflix on TV. And that's even worse than mobile gaming, is playing a game with your TV remote, basically. Unless it's Bamboozle and Teletext from back in the day. But no, I'd never experienced anything like it, obviously. Like, so Immortality was great. It's on Game Pass, I think. Is it on Game
it's
Pass?
on Game Pass. Yeah, I played it on Game Pass. I can compare it directly to Horror Story and Telling Lies because I played both. Now I played both of them on PC. And those games you're using the keyboard to interact with because you're typing, searching for things within an interface. This game, obviously, you're not typing anything, so you're just collecting things. So I think on console, this game will be much better because Telling Lies, I'm sure, did come out on console. And I can't imagine that would have been very good because
was that not the game that was? What I meant by I couldn't compare it is, even though that was by the same people, was it not based around piecing together websites or text message histories?
No, it's the exact same format. There's a bunch of video clips, and you're having to comb through them and find out the mystery. And once you've watched the correct video clips, then you get the ending basically. But you have to search for the right terminology in order to find the ending. So you're having to watch and listen. To
so instead of scrubbing through, you're typing out.
Yeah, exactly. So you're typing for correct keywords. And it was the same in Horror Story. I would say that this game is better than Telling Lies. It tells a better story and it's acted better. And the clips that you see are much more interesting as well. But I would say that it's not as good as Horror Story. And it could just be that like that's the first one of these type of games that I played. But I felt like in Horror Story, you were really like it set you up as like you're sitting at like an old style computer and you're trying to uncover this weird mystery and you've been set this task, and you go through and you watch, and there is like a weird cool twist. And I thought there was going to be like a weird cool twist in this, but there wasn't really in this. I did at one point think like the twist is going to be that these are porn movies, like because there's a lot of banging in these
I think it was
movies.
just more. I think it was
lot
just
of it.
more like kind of like European style movies from that era did have, like, you remember that we've been watching British films even though we're from Scotland for years, and these are the sort of films like daytime TV in Italy's got topless things in it. You know, it's and I know Italy's not just Europe, but that's the only place I've really been to a lot because of my wife's family. But they look at sex and stuff like that and nudity very differently. Like Eurotrash that we used to get as a sneaky thing to watch on a Friday on Channel 4. Like that's literally what their TV is like though. Like that was a collection of clips from European TV. So you forget that it might come across to our small minds in this stupid island nation as being like, sorry, still 10-day morning, man. Like I shouldn't have said stupid island nation. God rest her soul. But like
sad music only everywhere, even McDonald's. Only.
Sorry, anyway.
James Arthur only, and John Legend, nothing else.
That's a bit authority. We're not getting into that in the show. But if you like the Queen, you like the Queen. I wasn't bothered. I'm not bothered about Charles. The only thing I did say today was, does the Prince's Trust have to change to the King's Trust now? Might.
Imagine
a brand name.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so Immortality was decent. I gave it a 4.5. Give it a check out. Like, for someone like me that this doesn't normally appeal to me, I just took a chance on it and I really enjoyed it, but it's not a game. Like, I could let Tasha play this. She wouldn't understand it because I didn't even understand what I was doing to unlock them half the time because it was a different kind of thing you were doing. I knew when to do it because of a certain tell, like, you know what I'm talking about. And I won't ruin it for you because I want you to find it yourself. But, like, the same inputs didn't always get the same output. Like, I didn't always get the same result. I'm like, but hold on, it was this way the last time. And it just, even when I got it, I was like, oh, cool. What did I do to get that? Like, I was just fiddling about. You know,
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
So, give it a try. Definitely give it a try. But I want to hear more because this is not the only kind of horror game that Andy's played. Because Andy's been sticking a lot of time into Resident Evil since we last spoke. Because he's been busy with his work, I've been busy writing. But I'm just going to run through some games before we get on to Andy with Resi because I don't have too much to say. I have finished quite a few games, Andy. So I played As Dusk Falls on the Xbox. We spoke about it, but I loved that game.
Okay.
And my only big issue with it is the motion comic style because I'm not a big fan of motion comics. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like Marvel do it and they take the comic book and they cut out the scenes and they basically make them move by doing this and having a character turn. And the problem with As Dusk Falls is that apart from the dialogue scenes, the rest of the thing's all rendered in 3D. Like if the car's driving, you're seeing it in 3D. It looks cool. And I wish they'd done that. But see, when you see a character speaking, and they're just like a
couple. I hate it, man. I don't like it.
It just really annoyed me. But the story in the game was absolutely superb. I'm not reading this off. I just accidentally pushed record on my mic, and it was quoting me there in my notes. Absolutely superb, Andy. And I really need a sequel for this game. It had branching paths, right? I liked it that much that I would go back and play them. But see, because these are my choices, these are the ones that I made, I'm keeping it as is just in case a sequel comes out and I want it to continue from there because I don't know if me going in and getting all the endings and all the sequences would mess with the save file. I'd imagine it would somehow. I want it to be the story that I get told. But it was phenomenal. I really, really loved that game. I think I gave it a high rating as well because I reviewed that one too, but such a good game. Or did I review it? I must have reviewed it.
I can't remember.
I also played Tinykin. This is contender for Game of the Year, by the way. Tinykin is a short.
Okay.
Have you played it?
No, I haven't tried it.
Did you read my review?
Nope.
Then that's why you're so surprised. I'd
like to go in blind.
This game's superb. So I won't go into too much if you want to play it. This is Pikmin, which you hate anyway, mixed with Paper Mario graphics.
Right, okay.
Kind of influenced by Rick and Morty style. That's what I got from the feeling of it. Because I almost, see when I got the code through, because I know it's on Game Pass, but I got the code through and I'm like, this looks like it's from the guys that did Trover team, did Trover, the team that did that, which Rick and Morty creators.
Yep.
It's just a wonderful game to play. Like, it's just so nice to play it. I think it's better than Pikmin. I think it takes what Pikmin set out to do and improves on it every single way. Doesn't outstay its welcome. 4 or 5 hours, maybe longer if you want to collect everything. It's on Game Pass again. I was blown away by it. I was totally surprised, but yeah, those guys did a phenomenal job. You don't get games like this on Xbox. You definitely don't get them on PlayStation. All they do is samurai games these days. Xbox doesn't have games that feel like Nintendo. And I know this is multi-format, but this is as close to a Nintendo game as you can get on an Xbox. I don't know if it's on PlayStation, but it's on Game Pass, so it doesn't matter.
I did download this, so I haven't tried it yet.
It won't take long. It's one that you could knock out as well, because I know you're a bit behind. I've only got 4 games left to finish my Games Complete challenge, and then I've got 3 months to finish 2 Souls games. So I doubt I'll do that. But yeah, Tinykin was amazing. Next one I want to talk about, I talked about Shredder's Revenge earlier in the year. Phenomenal game. It's up there as one of my best games this year as well already. But I played the TMT, the arcade collection. That's a phenomenal collection, man. So good. The extras section alone is worth the entry price.
Nice.
You basically, it's like a 90s room almost, kind of like what the Sega Mega Drive collection had, kind of like that, but you're in the Turtles layer.
Yeah.
The one bit of disappointment I got is, so you're going through it, and on the table there's game manuals. You go into them and it's every game manual. There's like magazine excerpts from the time, there's interviews from the time, there's soundtracks, there's everything you can imagine to do with these games. And then you go to the TV, Andy, and it's got TMNT, all the seasons of the cartoon. I'm like, no fucking way. Is this got every episode of the cartoon? It doesn't. No. What it's got is art from each of the TV series, right up to Rise of the Turtles, which is the most recent one.
Nice.
Rising. So I got excited because the way these are presented when you go into the TV, because obviously, like, you see the TV select that comes up. I'm like, oh my god, this has got every Turtles episode. And it doesn't. It's got like an art style.
It would be much dearer if it had all that in it as well. Like,
man, that would have been so cool. But what I want now is the 3D games, like the ones in the GameCube and stuff. From the Turtle series that came after ours, it was quite good. The TMNT.
Yep.
It was a really good series, a bit more violent than ours. And
like
then
the 2000s one, yeah.
Not the one in 2013 that was kind of CGI for the first time. The one before that was really good, that series.
The Attack of the Mousers and all that.
Yes, that exact series. I want the games from that in a collection, because there's still Game Boy Advance games, GameCube.
Yeah, you know what? Like, those games were actually good, like PS2 and that. Like, I remember there was one where you were fighting on rooftops and shit. Like, it was really fun.
That was the first one. Yeah. They done 3 of those. There was a trilogy. They were each one got better, and they also Game Boy Advance games. So there's enough to make another collection. And the developer has commented on it, saying that they would be up for doing it, but it depends on like the response to this. I really hope they get to make it. I really do, because that would be phenomenal, because we see these remakes of 2D games all the time, but there's an era just now where we don't see a lot of like re-releases from, and that's like PS2, GameCube, that style, round about that time.
They're starting to bring some of them in now, like that SpongeBob game. Like, that was kind of the first.
And they're doing a sequel to it now. You know that? They're doing a sequel to that game because they remastered it. Was it Hydrated Sponge? Not Sponge. Bikini Bottom Rehydrated?
Yeah, Rehydrated,
But they're making a direct sequel to that. So, like, I'm not expecting a direct sequel to the Turtles games, because I don't want one, because it would have to be Rise of the Turtles at the moment. And then Seth Rogen's got a reboot going on for next year. But yeah, this collection's really good. The games, however, they vary in quality, but the fact that you can put it into widescreen without it looking stretched, and you can play them online if they had 4-player compatibility in the original game, it's amazing. Like, this is all the Turtles games that you could want, apart from the 3D ones, which I definitely do want now that we spoke about it. Put in the three that we spoke about, the TMNT ones that you on the PS2 and the GameCube, and throw in the Game Boy Advance games, and you've got yourself another collection that's going to sell. I also finished another game, Andy, so I'm up to 20 now. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So I've always wanted to watch an anime, and like, I've watched bits of Naruto. I got bored and then I went back to it in pieces. But I mean, the anime series is, as you know, like 200 episodes long. I'm like, I can't invest in this. So Dragon Ball, and I'm like, what is the fuss? So Fraser and everyone start with Dragon Ball Z, and I went back to the original Dragon Ball, because there's 3. There's Dragon Ball Z, and then Super, which is the new one. And Dragon Ball Z is always one folk talk about. So David said, do you know what? Play Kakarot. It's on sale just now. I think it was like £7 I bought it for on the PlayStation. The game looked phenomenal, first of all. And this is a PS4 game. It hasn't been PS5 upscaled.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. The gameplay, phenomenal. Like, you're fighting as if it's like anime and
Yeah.
it's open world. You can fly across the land, you can challenge people, you can do quests, there's cooking, there's fishing, there's all this sort of stuff. But the best thing about this, Andy, is it tells the exact story from Dragon Ball Z from the start to the end. I even got the DLC because the DLC tells you the story of the 2 movies that finished it off.
Right,
I
okay.
now know Dragon Ball Z. I now know the characters. I now know what happened. This is the best way for someone like me to consume it. Are you farting?
Nice. No, it's my chair squeaking.
Yeah. So like Andy sitting there putting away. So like Dragon Ball Z has always been one that I've wanted to watch. And I can say wholeheartedly, it's not as great as everyone said. Like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the game, but I'm glad I didn't sit through 300 episodes of that because Naruto is far better. And now Naruto is one that Fraser told me start with Shippuden. It's the middle series because we're now on to Boruto. Shippuden's the one that everyone loves. It's like Dragon Ball Z. I watched the original Naruto and that's what I'm watching through. I like it. I love it. So the fact
that's the one where he runs with his arms behind his back, isn't it?
He doesn't always run like that. I think that's how he runs. He doesn't always run though, so it's not like I know that's a meme you've seen, but yeah, that's the guy with the orange with his believe it, with the spiky blonde hair. Yeah. So like I just wrote an article about Naruto, the 6 best Naruto crossovers. Check out in Game Run. I've wrote a lot recently. My thumb is actually agony just now. I was meant to be playing more Splatoon 3, but I don't think I'll be able to. I just need to rest. Because I've just been playing and writing. But like now anyway, back to Dragon Ball Z. That game's phenomenal. Like even put it this way, the story worked for a game story, but I wouldn't want to sit down and watch an anime of it, like extending that. Like I got the gist through like I think it was about 25 hours for the story, which is reasonable for kind of a fighting RPG kind of thing. I thought it was really cool, like because obviously the guy that made this is the guy that makes the Dragon Quest games. This is a better story than any of the Dragon Quest games I've started. I really enjoyed it. So like everybody might be sitting going, no, what have you done? Watch the anime. I don't want to watch 200-300 episodes. Like this told me the story in 20 hours. Like each episode's half an hour. Like I don't have the time to watch all that. So I would say to you, Andy, if you have any interest in it, which you probably don't, or anybody watching, play Kakarot because the game's really good. I enjoyed the game a lot, like powering up, leveling up, visiting all the places. I got the gist of it. So I was talking to Fraser and he's like, are you watching it? I'm like, no, I'm not watching it. I'm playing the game. And it tells the whole story. So I got it. And I'm like, yeah, well, it wasn't as great as everybody made out to be. What is great, though, that I'm still watching is the Tekken Bloodlines on Netflix. That show's really good. And it's the storyline between Tekken 2 and 3 because there's a big gap there. Really great show. I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to watch the Shenmue one next because I restarted Shenmue because I want to finish Shenmue just so I can say I've finished Shenmue because I've never played Shenmue 2 or 3. I kickstarted Shenmue 3 and it's been sitting in its wrapper since it arrived. Shenmue 1 I finished back in the Dreamcast, but I need to finish it again because I know it's only the machine balls, but I need to just finish it because that's the way I am. So its biggest fucking problem is that it's just so dated. Like it's not a remaster. They've even left Dreamcast logos in the game, like I've shown you in the menu screen for the controls. It's a Dreamcast controller. It's like, hold on. But these games were the precursor to Yakuza, which is my next target because I want to chip into the Yakuza games finally because I was really enjoying Zero. And then obviously you game shared with Bethany and I lost it. And I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. And I bought it and I've never went back to it. I've just never went back to playing Yakuza 0. And it was so much fun. And like I really enjoyed the wackiness and craziness of that. And Yakuza 7 is one of the best games I've played like ever. So I want, and I know 1 to 6 is its own saga, but I mean, I want to watch 1 to 6. Do you know what I mean? I want to play through it. And it's a different style game. It's a whole different genre, but Shenmue's what birthed Yakuza. That's what came from it. Both games feel very similar. Yakuza better. And now that they're remastering them with the Kiwami, I think it's called the Kiwami means remake. First 2 have been redone and 0's done in the same engine. So once you get those, they've remastered 3, 4, and then 5 and 6 were good enough anyway from what I hear. So 3 and 4 being remastered. Yeah, I'm going to play through them. I'm really in the mood to. And
I actually downloaded Yakuza 0 again because I'm going to go back to that soon.
Yeah, I think it's all the news of Like a Dragon 2 or Yakuza 8. I think they're just going to go with Like a Dragon 2 at this point. Well, maybe because it is still Yakuza. But I think Like a Dragon is going to be the prominent title with Yakuza 8 smaller now.
Yeah.
They could go 2 ways. They could do what Assassin's Creed doing. They could release like a beat 'em up style game called Yakuza 8 and keep Like a Dragon as the RPG. But I really loved it. So.
No, I think they're given what we saw with that PlayStation announcement, how they've
Yeah,
called that game Like a Dragon. They're going with Like a
yeah.
Dragon. Like that's what it's going to be called.
Do you think it's going to be called Like a Dragon 2?
Well, maybe not Like a Dragon 2, but like a
Like a
Dragon.
Dragon with a subtitle?
Yeah, whatever.
Do you think they're dropping the Yakuza one for this?
Maybe. I mean, like
Because
it's obviously Judgment's in the Yakuza franchise, but it
and it
doesn't say
doesn't use it.
Yakuza on it
Yeah,
anymore. So they don't need the Yakuza name to sell these games.
people know what it is now. So yeah, it will be Yakuza 8, but it is. I still think they need the Yakuza branding for old fans. I don't know why. But anyway, but it's like here it was more of a fresh start because in Japan they had to call it Yakuza 7, but over here it was just Like a Dragon Yakuza.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like over there it was Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon, and here they didn't have the 7 or anything. So that I think it was to get new fans on board.
Definitely.
But yeah, I played Kakarot, so I really enjoyed that. I surprised myself how much I enjoyed it, and I haven't played much Resident Evil. Obviously, I finished off Revelations, which was good, but I haven't went back. I think I'm just kind of treading water just now because I know that they're releasing the third-person view for 8 in the next couple of months, and I really want to get back and finish that because even though I'm enjoying 2, and I finished 3 earlier in the year, I have finished 1, 2, and 3 years ago. Like these are games I have completed. That was another disappointment from the PlayStation Showcase. The rumors were that the Resident Evil 4 demo was going to drop tonight because I mean that's out in March. It's not far away. And you would think Sony would have the exclusivity on it, but I do want to finish Resident Evil 2 before 4 comes out, and I want to finish 8 before 4 comes out as well, because 4 I never ever completed. I didn't really enjoy it, but I think now it's going to be in the remaster engine. It's going to be a whole new experience. So one other thing I've really played is Splatoon 3. This game's phenomenal, man. Like every problem you had with like Yakuza 2, everything took too long in Yakuza 2, and I know why. It's because it was fucking designed for the Wii U, and they pushed it to the Switch. That's why. Right. So like you load you load Splatoon 2, and you have to every time be hitting the face with blah 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 blah, telling you the stages, and it takes so long. You're just tapping A. There isn't even an auto skip button. So that was my first annoyance. Then queuing for a battle, that takes forever as well. See, in this game, everything's streamlined. Like, me and you could play together, but we could be thrown in other teams. Lexi hated that in Splatoon 2. So this time, I create a team. I go into the lobby, which is in the elevator. I can walk about, go create a team, invite. Lexi joins my team. That's us paired up for the entire time we play. Oh, and what's that? I didn't mention the off the hook. That's because you can get rid of it, because the start thing like this, you have to watch it the very first time you play. The very first time you play, you have to watch it through. See, the next time you load that game, it says click L3 to listen to it as a podcast. And what it does is it puts it up to the corner of your screen, and the details scroll like the banner below. And you can just ignore it. Like you just click L3 and boom, you're straight in the square.
Nice.
The loading is phenomenal on it. The graphics are phenomenal on it. It looks amazing on the OLED. It looks great on the big screen. The time from loading the game and getting into a battle is halved. Like it's minutes. It's easily minutes shorter than Splatoon 2 ever was.
Nice.
The one thing that, and it's maybe because I'm not used to them, the songs aren't quite as catchy as da, 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 da. I don't know. Just it's
I never really liked the songs anyway.
Well, for me, I did.
Yeah.
And they're not as catchy in this one. There are some levels from the previous games. The first Splatfest got announced today as well, but the choices are crap. Like they used to have cool ones like Mario and Luigi and like stuff like that, but they've got to do tricolors now because there's 3 colors when it comes to Splatfest, which is cool. But you can't. I thought those battles were going to be available all the time, but they're not. Those are the Splatfest comes and it's triple colors. Normal is just like your team battle, your rank modes. You've got your salmon run. You can play that. I basically ignore, and you've got like your capture the flag and stuff. Which I just like turf wars. I just like painting. I just like my roller. The one thing that annoys me is I like the Iron Man punch from my normal roller before. Now they've took it away and they've changed it. I did use the carbon roller for a while, which doesn't paint as much. I always use the standard one because you roll over someone once they're dead. See the carbon one, you bounce off them twice before you kill them, and by that point they've shot you. So it has got a Spider-Man like thwip, like that you can use to zoom about the level, which is awesome because you can use that, sneak behind the enemy, paint a bit, and when the time runs out, it shoots you back to where you are.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
There's some really cool new abilities in the game. The story mode, though, Andy, I told you it was worthless because Splatoon 2 was worthless. Splatoon 1 ignored it. This one's good. This one's really, really, really good. You're doing the same thing. The old guy's blaming the octopus again, and you do your first thing. You fight a cool boss battle against the Dejectarian guy, and it's the usual like fire the punch back at him, like dodgy stuff, and then you get stripped of everything because you find out you were wrong, and there's another area in the Splatoon world that you didn't know about, and you're actually piecing together a journal. I know, and you've actually got a bit more choice because you've got 6 islands, and you can choose to unlock parts. Like they're kind of covered by like this mammal style stuff that's all hairy, and you have to kind of you've got a little buddy, which is a little chicken guy, and he'll get rid of it for you once you've got so many golden orbs. But you don't have to unlock every bit to get to the next stage. You just have to unlock that. So you can skip lots of it and play it through fast. But I'm trying to unlock everything because it's giving you, there's even a mini card game in it called Table Turf Battle, which is pretty fun. It's kind of like playing Tetris, but with playing cards. You have to fill up as many squares as possible. So you unlock packs by like playing the campaign mode, doing salmon run. You can buy them in the store down the street because your main hub world's giant in this. But the other thing is, you don't have to walk through it all. You just push the menu button. Boom, I want to go there. I'm in the weapon shop. Boom, I want to go to the campaign. Boom, you're in the campaign. So even though the hub world's a nicety, you can just go wherever you like. You don't need to deal with like, oh, I need to walk down there. Honestly,
that's good. I like that. That's much better.
I know I talked about Game of the Year earlier, but at the moment, it's Splatoon 3. Without a shadow of a doubt at the moment. However, there's a Gotham Knights just around the corner, and there is Bayonetta 3 just around the corner, 2 of my favourite franchises. And I think Gotham Knights is going to be pretty special considering they've got co-op for the campaign, but Splatoon 3 is every moan you have about Splatoon 2, they've solved it. They've solved it. They've changed it. They've made the campaign fun and interesting. I bought the DLC, the Tarian Pass, and I've heard it's good. I've not touched it because I never finished the main campaign in Splatoon 2. I just didn't find it as engaging as it should have been. And yes, this is more of the same. And yes, people are saying it's DLC, but see if you look at every Call of Duty, it's the exact same game with a different skin, really, isn't it? So it's been 5 years at least. We don't get Splatoons every year. And like, I think it just feels too much because Splatoon does feel like a series where it should be one per console, really.
Yeah.
But the problem was, I think they had to end the Wii U life quickly because it wasn't doing well and they had to switch in the works anyway. And that's why we ended up getting Splatoon 2, because I think Splatoon 2 was bound for the Wii U, and that's why it's got a lot of loading issues, like just long, everything takes so long in that game. Your salmon run, remember that? You could only play it at set times of the day.
Yeah, it was locked other times. Yeah, it was locked. Like, great, yeah.
24 hours now. 24 hours. You can do it whenever you like. Every mode's unlocked. You can play them whenever you like. Like, everything's so much faster in the game, like I said, and it's just, it's such a good game. You're going to love it once you eventually get around to playing it. And sadly, it's like, I'll never go back to Splatoon 2 at this point. There's no reason for me to, because it's just better in every single way. Like, even Lexi's like, I don't want to play the old one, Daddy, just the new one, because the movement's faster. Everything's better. It's refined. They've so good, man. And they've added new weapons. Like, there's a bow and arrow now, like tri-bow and arrow. There's the Splatana, which is like a window wiper that you use like a sword, so you can run about with that. And it's just a whole load of fun, man. You've got your usual stuff where you can like upgrade your abilities. You know, none of that's really changed. You can buy your food tickets to get extra XP and things, but it's such a good game. I'm just exhausted because I'm trying to beast through this campaign, because my next part of my strategy guide is on the campaign, and it's taken its toll on me, to say the least at the moment. Writing strategy guides is fun, and I would like to do another one, but I didn't expect it to be like this. But my problem was I took on like more list articles at the same time. So I'm currently trying to finish off. Like, I've got another Cobra Kai. I finish a Cobra Kai one tonight, and I've got another Cobra Kai one for tomorrow, and then it's back to Splatoon again till we finish that off, and then I can go back to normality. But yeah, really enjoying it. Like I said, my stuff's in Game Rant if you want to check it out. And obviously, I'm still writing for the Xbox Hub. Those guys are brilliant over there. And my last piece for them was NBA 2K23, which was my final game that I want to talk about. I kind of banned myself more or less from getting invested in these games. I've bought them every year still, but was it 2019 lockdown? I think I spent, was it 200? I priced it up 1 week and I just went, it's enough, man. It's too addictive. It's not because the game is bad, and I just was like, every game that came out, Nelson would message me every year it came out. I'm like, mate, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to play it. So I just kind of stuck myself to story mode. I don't enjoy as much. I'm playing now games while the season was on, and that did me fine. And then this year's come out, and I got it to review. This is the best basketball game I've played. They've got it to a point now where everything's basically perfect. If they could get rid of some of the microtransactions, but they're not going to do that, then it would be better. But I gave it like a 4.5 because they added the Jordan career mode as well as the normal one. So you get to play through Michael Jordan's career with inserted interviews with people that was throughout his career, like managers, players, and that introduces the game. So like you're playing like his college game, and it's one of his coaches, I think it was, or one of the players that played with him talking about it, and then it launches you in, and they've got an era-based filter. So I normally play end-to-end 2K camera, and I left these on broadcast because it felt so damn authentic because of the filter that was on it. It felt grainy. It felt like the footage you would watch, how you would watch it on the internet, like standard definition, kind of blurry. It was so well done. And they give you 3 challenges per game, like win by 12, like get 5 assists, that sort of thing. And once you get them all, you unlock like bonus cards and stuff like that. But it's just the fun of having that in. And it makes sense because it's 2K23. And I said in my review as well, what they need to do next year is tweak it further, because it can always be tweaked further, and do a Kobe career next year, because obviously Kobe Bryant, sadly no longer with us, played in number 24. And it would make sense 2K24 Kobe, because you're not going to get a chance of that till like 3000. So if Kobe isn't next year, I'll be very surprised. But yeah, the Michael Jordan career mode, they've improved on my team as well, and I'm trying to stay away from that. And the city is a lot easier to get around. It used to be giant, and it still is big, but it's a lot quicker to get around places.
How's the movement in the city? Is it sped up at all? Because I remember it was really slow to move around.
It's not the best. It's not my chosen play, but it's quicker to get places because it's a shorter distance. I don't think they've turned up the running speed, but I mean, the game just plays great. The shot meter, every year they change the shot meter, and it's really annoying. I wish they would just stick with one, but this year it's kind of like you just feel when it's right to release it, and it feels right. And if you miss it, it's because it wasn't quite, that it's wrong before you've let it go. But some years you're like, is it going to get in, isn't it? This time you feel like you're actually throwing the ball because of when you have to judge it. So it really works well. And the fluidity and the online connected stuff, brilliant. Online connected works so well. So like at every point in this game, it's like you can drop in online, or you can join your friends and hang out and play a game on my team as well, like every part of it. And the WNBA is not my cup of tea, but they've really doubled down on their efforts there, to the point where I think that could justify its own spin-off game if they push for it, because I know it's popular with certain people, but I'm not the biggest fan. I don't watch the league, but it's great that they're getting representation in the game, I think. And just my NBA 2K TV's back, the episodes you can watch every week with tips from the best and stuff. The season doesn't start till like 16th October or something. And there's a good deal, obviously. And here's my plan, because I obviously got this to review. I'm going to wait to Black Friday, because they always reduce the special edition of this game on Black Friday. And this year with NBA 2K23, they are giving away a year's free league pass, which is your NBA for the year. So see if that hits a sale. It's already cheaper than buying it outright, right? So it's like £120 for the game, which is normal price for the best version of NBA, because you got all your My Team points and everything. I know that sounds ridiculous to you, Andy, but it's the same for FIFA. It's the same. It's not new information. It's been the same since like 2016 for all these sports games. The high-end version is always like 90, 100, £120. But this year, the difference is that season pass for NBA alone is worth about £100, because that's 12 months worth of games. So once the season starts, you're getting like 4 or 5 games a night live. And in this country, there's no blackouts, so it's worth it. Whereas in America, there's maybe blackouts because of TV rights and stuff. So if that hits a sale in Black Friday, I'm snapping it up for the season pass alone, regardless of what format it's on.
See if they did that for FIFA, I would buy that.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
So I get where you come from. Like, that makes complete sense.
Yeah. So it's obviously, like, if I wasn't reviewing this game, I would have probably got that version, because I usually buy my season pass for the year because it's cheaper. It's like £110 for the full year, and that's for every game of the season, including the All-Star game and the finals. So to get the game and the season pass for the same price, that to me is a no-brainer, because it's like I'm either getting the season pass completely free or the game free, depending on what way you look at it. If I can get it in a sale, though, in November, then it's even better. Then I'm getting the season pass for cheaper. I can trade in the game and get even more money back, which is exactly what I'll do. I'll go to game because that's where it's exclusive, the Championship Edition. I'll buy it. I'll take my code out. I'll walk across the street and I'll trade it into my local CX because why wouldn't I? It's a no-brainer to do that because then I'm getting what, say £20 at that point back for the game. £20 back for the game. Say I got it for 60 quid. What, I get a year's worth of NBA League Pass for £60? That's a winner to me. That's if that version goes on sale and it doesn't sell out completely, which I've got a funny feeling might happen because it's cheap enough. But no, the game's phenomenal. Like, so if you pick it up, which you sometimes do throughout the year, I think you're going to enjoy it. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. Like, the realism, you know what 2K games look like. The games look really phenomenal. Like, the character models are great. I haven't really played anything else though that I can think of at the moment. I'm sure I have been sinking time into something that it's not coming to my head at the moment. Temtem, I'm playing that, but I'm working on a review. So
okay.
It's Pokemon, basically.
Yeah, no, I know what it is, yeah.
I'll have more to say about that next week.
Because that just came out, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted my review out quicker, but it's a bigger game than I thought. And I had a lot on my plate at the same time to do, plus Splatoon. So yeah, I haven't played anything. I know that sounded like a lot. I probably have played more and I forgot something, but it's just the cycle just now. My game that I'm waiting for that I think could be game of the year actually Sonic Frontiers. And I've said that for ages. Like, see the people that come out and say, "Oh, it looks terrible." I'm like, Sonic, I'm going to buy it day one. I don't care. I've always said this about Sonic games. I'll buy it day one. There'll be something about it that I like. It might not be my favorite Sonic game, but Sonic to me has always got an automatic pass. Even Sonic 06. Yeah, it's not the best Sonic game, and yeah, it's full of glitches, but it still gets a pass for me for being a Sonic game. It's not one that I would play. But Sonic Frontiers generally looks good. And now I'm not getting a Zelda this year. I might as well play Sonic Breath of the Wild. Do you know what I mean? So just give it to me. But yeah, anyway, like, yeah, Splatoon 3 is definitely one that I'm going to be playing for years. Obviously, free updates will come. No doubt after the success of the Octo expansion, they'll release DLC for this as well.
Definitely.
And the Amiibo aren't out on it yet because I wrote a guide up for what the Amiibo do because I've got all the Amiibo for the Splatoon 2. Or I thought I did. I didn't have Maria and Callie.
The ones that speak to you at the beginning. Talk their shite.
Yeah. I didn't have those because they annoy me so much. But
they're really expensive as well. Like, really expensive to get them.
Oh, I got a hold of them. But
if you can get RFID chips for them, no problem.
I got a hold of them. And just to figure out, they didn't do much for me. They gave the ones that do stuff that's the best are the squids, because they give you the power armor looking things, and it's been the same since Splatoon 1 because that's what it did in Splatoon 1.
Okay.
And the ones from Splatoon 2 gave you power armor. So I'm kind of hoping that this Splatoon 3 set of amiibos give you like power armor 3 because we've got Mark 1 and Mark 2 already, and a samurai outfit from one of them as well. But I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
But yeah, Lexi doesn't like me wearing it because she's like, "Daddy, can you just make your guy look like you?" I'm like, "They're octopus." She's like, "Yes, but that's a big robot suit, Dad." And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to wear it. I look cool." I'm like, "I'm the one winning this. Get the painting." So yeah, it's fun, but you can't. Not that I take Splatoon serious, like, but sometimes when I'm wanting to get my rank up, like I'm wanting to paint a certain amount, like you want to go over 1,000. Like whatever square feet, or whatever, 1,000, you want to get 1,000 points of paint every time to get decent points. And when Lexi's playing, it's kind of difficult because Dad, come and help me, and I'm like, by the time I get there, she's always dead. But you always do the thing like, look, Lexi, I'm coming to get you. Look, I'm on my way, and it's I got me. I'm like, right, okay, I can't be beside you all the time because you choose where to go, and you like looking at the water like Andy in Assassin's Creed 3. So, but yes, it was just fun. It was a nice moment to play with. Because she's been playing Splatoon 2 on and off, as you know, for like the past month. And I ended up giving her one of the old TVs, and I say old, it's still a Sony Bravia for her. It's better TV than I ever had till I was about 20 in her room. And even then, I don't think I had the best tele. I had a Goodman's for my first HD TV for my PlayStation 3. Goodman's telly for £700 out of Tesco's. It was 27-inch. So she's been playing Splatoon 2, and just to get Splatoon 3 in launch day when she came back from school, she was excited about it, her first game that was out, and she was like, "Did we get it, Dad?" I went, "We got it. It's here." "Can I play it now?" I went, "No, we need to wait till Leo's in bed because we just gets on the road." And we had so much fun. It was just really nice, like, to play with her, and she's not bad at it. Like, Tasha was watching the other night, and she was like, "She's actually playing this." I went, "Yeah, she can do it well," because I figured I had to put in some time at the start for her because you've got the tutorial, and then you've got to finish, like, get to level 1 before you can buy weapons. And she's no good with the guns. She's still not great with the right analog stick. But you give her a roller, she's having a good time.
Yeah.
And I use a roller anyway, so she wants to be the same as me. And like, I remember when Splatoon 1 came out, I was between Wii U's at the time. I'd sold mine, and you'd got it, and you were going on about how good it was, and I was chastising you because you said, but I don't actually shoot. I just roll because it's so much fun. And I'm like, how can it be fun not shooting in a shooting game? And I didn't understand. And then I eventually got Splatoon 1, and I'm like, I understand now. And Splatoon 2 came out. I don't think I used a gun at all in the game, apart from the campaign bits I played. All roller. I love the roller. It's therapeutic as well. Just I go up and down. I paint the base. I paint the side. See if I get splatted. I'm like, oh well. Sometimes I'll be like, and I'll do the big roll up to the enemy side, and everybody else will swim down, and I'll get splatted. And I don't mind. I'm the human sacrifice, because then see, once I'm dead and they're all down there fighting, I just paint away, and I'll sometimes defend myself. But you're right. That's the best way to play, and you can still be competitive with a roller, because if you jump out and throw it, like you can get them. So yeah, I really enjoy Splatoon. I'm surprised by the campaign mode, how good it is.
Nice.
How good it is.
I'm going to definitely pick it up at some point in the near future. So it's definitely.
I mean, I've seen somebody asking on a podcast, like, should I wait for a sale? I'm like, Splatoon 2 never reduced price until Splatoon 3 got announced. So
yep. Just buy it now, or you'll be waiting for 5 years.
You'll be waiting at least 5 years, at least 5 years, because they could just extend this one. But I mean, 3.4 million in 3 days.
It's a lot, yeah.
Insane. It topped. I showed you the Japanese sales charts of all time, and it was like beating Final Fantasy VII. It beat Final Fantasy VII for 3 day sales. That's insane. Pokemon Black and White, which were the biggest selling Pokemon games. Animal Crossing, it beat out in 3 days, Andy. And this is a game that only 2 prior releases, one on a system that nobody played. Not even in Japan can they claim they played that, because only 13 million worldwide bought one. 3 of those were mine. And do you know what's annoying me?
Yeah.
What's annoying me about my Wii U is I'm very into, like, since the PlayStation 5 came out, I like the white and black. And I usually liked all my black stuff, because, like, at some point when DVD players came out and we moved away from the silver pieces of tech in the house, everything was black. And it's like, this is black, my tail is black. And I'm like, I like white now. I like the white look. And I've got, it's annoying. My Series X annoys me. It's behind my tail, so it doesn't annoy me too much. But I've got my PlayStation 5 on the right, it's white and black. In the middle, I have got my Switch OLED, which is white and black. And then I've got my blooming... who's messaging me?
It's not me.
And then it's not you. I don't know who it is. I'm not answering you just now, sorry. And then you've got your... where are these messages? If you're messaging the show, I don't know where it is. And if you're messaging me in Discord, then I don't know where it is either. So this is the night I've been having with this show. Like, you're lucky that you've got this show. You've had 3 shows out of us, and you nearly had none.
I know.
So, like, what was I talking about there? Oh, yeah, my technology. So, I know I could get a Series S that's white and black to match, but I don't. It's a half step. It's not full. It's not full next gen. And even our friend Ian's talking about getting a Series X soon as well, because of certain things. But, like, I looked at my Wii U and I'm like, I'm going to need to move you as well, because I was convinced Wind Waker was coming out again. And you're a black, and I need to get the white one now. And I've never owned a white Wii U. Never owned a white Wii U.
I had a white Wii U. The one I had was white.
But the black one was like double the storage, wasn't it? It was like, was it 32 in the black one and 16 in the... Or
8 gig on the white one. It was.
Jeez. But they take SD cards, that's what
take SD cards, so it doesn't matter. And you can put a USB drive in the back of them as well.
Of course you can. Never thought of that. I've got like 3 upstairs. Yeah. But no, I'm not going to go out and buy a white one, because see, to get one with a decent tablet at this point, few and far between. Yeah,
you'll not get one. They're bad to fuck at this point. All the white ones.
Yeah.
Even most of the black ones are as well. If you've got a good one, just keep it.
I mean, it was about 5-6 years ago that I got my third Wii U, remember? And like, it took me a soul search, and I had to search through the shop I worked at to find a decent one that didn't have that many scratches, and I'm satisfied with it. And obviously I bought my extended battery for the Wii U tablet.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, and I can't remember who was posting about it, the Wii U Pro controller that I've got, I hadn't played this console, as you know, since lockdown. It's been under the telly since lockdown. And that's 2 years. And as I picked up the Pro controller, it flashed. It's still with battery charge.
Fucking hell, man. That's
That's an insane battery on that thing.
Yeah.
That's an insane battery. Don't get me wrong. The Switch Pro controller has got pretty good battery life as well. I don't know if it's got 2 years battery life, but I now own 4 of those, Andy. Well, 3. One's Lex's now, but my original one, the black one, I ended up selling because Nelson sold me the Splatoon 2 one way back when Splatoon 2 came out. For some reason, he said he didn't want it, so I've got my Splatoon 2 one. I've got the 2 Monster Hunter ones, the gold and the silver, and then my Splatoon 3 controller came and Lex went, "Oh, who's that for?" And I went, "This one's mine." She went, "Oh, I wanted a pink one." I goes, "You know, Daddy's pink and green one? Yeah, that's yours." So she loves it, but she prefers the Joy-Cons in the holder because it's better for the hands. But she's got the option now, and if her wee pal's around, she can play with them as well. So it's nice, but she always wants to play with me. I think it's really nice, and I know you had that with Bethany as well, and I know there's going to come a point where she can't stand playing those games, but yeah, Splatoon's a really good.
I mean, that point is already come and gone. Like she barely plays games anymore. Like she's too busy watching things. Like
yeah, it's a shame, but like for me, I've never not played games since I was 5.
Well, that's not true. She does play games, but she plays nonsense games. Like there's all these like
Danganronpa.
No, not Danganronpa. Like Danganronpa is an official proper game. That's fine. But she's playing like what's it called? Funkin' Freddy's, which is like it's sort of like a Five Nights at Freddy's spin-off that's not an official thing. It's a fan-made thing.
Right.
But like she plays, it's all browser-based things she plays. But it's basically like Parappa the Rapper. Like that's what it is. It's Parappa the Rapper, basically. Like it's a weird rhythm game with bad music, but she loves it, so it's fine. So did you play anything else, or was that it?
That's it. I'll let you speak.
Okay. I played a few things. Because so I've been trying to play a few different things on the PlayStation Plus because I've got the premium. So I think it's maybe even been since the last show. I can't remember. But I did get my upgrade came and continued on because I forgot about it.
That's right. It was when you were telling me you were cutting back and everything, and then you upgrade the one that was literally least getting used by you.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I would have necessarily done it if it didn't happen automatically, but it's happened now. I've paid it, so like it's done. So the PlayStation Plus Premium, I'd obviously paid to upgrade the remainder of my subscription was up until sometime in August, and then just £100 came out of my bank account, and I'm like, oh well, it's done now. Like it's fine. I don't need to worry about PlayStation Plus for a year. It's fine. But yeah, so I tried a few things in it. So I tried Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 because I know you were a big fan of this.
Great.
I don't like it. It's not my game.
I know, but it's a great remake.
Yeah, I can see that, but that's not one for me. Then I decided I was in the mood to play like a shooter. So I tried a couple of different shooters, like those kind of shmup type games. So I played Gunvolt Bust. And I didn't like that.
Gunvolt.
Yeah.
Gunvolt were good. I had them in the 3DS.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of in that sort of vein
Mega
or maybe
Man
the same
style.
franchise. Yeah, but I didn't like that one. Then I tried Raiden 5 Director's Cut, which is on the PlayStation. That game's cool, but it's really hard. So I played it for maybe, I don't know, half an hour and then gave up because it was too hard. But I did go back to Stray. So this cat game.
Oh yeah.
This fucking cat game. And have you tried this yet? You won't try it yet.
I don't have PlayStation.
Oh no, you don't have the PlayStation, right? Cool. So I tried this game again, and there's bits of it that are like interesting enough. So like the gameplay mechanics are fine. They're not great, but they're okay. And like the story's nonsense though. Because there's no people, it's just you're a cat in a world full of robots, and you're going around trying to find different robots and like get them to unlock things for you. And there's like a little robot, like pet drone thing that's flying around with you, and like it's just it looks fine and it plays okay, but there's just nothing that's really amazing about it or exciting particularly. It's just kind of a bland game, and they've got some chase sequences in it with these like sort of I don't know, they're kind of like they look like critters. Remember critters? They kind of look a bit like that, but they've got red glowing eyes and they chase you. And you have to trick them into going certain places by meowing at them. It's like just a kind of average game. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's terrible. So it's okay.
No, I mean I didn't PlayStation like whatever it's called Plus is the only one that I don't have because I bought expansion pass because the price difference was negligible because it kind of converted And I know it kind of converts it, but I have to, because I stacked for 2 years, it still want like 150 odd quid from me. And I'm like, just convert it, just swap it over. I don't want to pay any extra, just half my time. And I spoke of this before.
It's way too much. And it's a shame because like there's probably some things in there that you would like and play, but it's not worth it for you at all.
No, because there's no guarantee of what's coming up. That's the biggest problem. They don't have a roadmap. If they said, here's what you're getting for the next, say, 3 months ahead, but they don't.
I mean, they announced some games a little bit in advance. Like Stray, they'd announced that was coming a few months in advance. But yeah, you're right. Beyond that, like it's you're waiting until the week before they're telling you like, here's the PlayStation Plus game, and then here's what's coming to like here's what's coming to Premium and Extra.
Yeah, on Game Pass, right? I know every Xbox game is going to be day one on it. That's simple, right?
Yep.
I know what I'm getting. And I know there's a catalog there already. And I know there's a catalog on PlayStation, but I don't know what I'm getting in the future. With Nintendo, I know that I have to pay it. It's not as dear as, it's like, what, 20, 30 quid a year?
Nothing,
so it's less than half the price.
It's not 100 quid, yeah, totally.
It's not £100, but I know I'm getting my SNES and NES. And then now that I've got my expansion pack, I think it was 40 quid with my transfer, because it worked out what I would get with whatever months I had left. I think I paid £40 for 12 months with the N64 and Mega Drive stuff. I'm like, this seems, because it's the family plan I needed to go for it. It would have been cheaper if it was just single. But then we came up, that was the problem we came up to, because like Lexi's like, I wiped my old Switch, which I'd never done before. It was always shared. And it was just all Lexi's, and she's like, Dad, this saying can't connect online. I'm like, why is this not connecting? And I figured it out. I'm like, it's me that's got the online. And then I thought, okay, I'll go to the family pass. And I think it was like 46 for a year just for the standard family, or it was like 50. I'm like, I'll pay £4 extra just now to look at the N64 games. Like, that's not too bad. So for like 50 quid for a full year for me and her, I was like, that's sold. But PlayStation, like, Sony, if you're listening, Sony, can you hear me? Just like I've got 2 years, just take a year off me and go, right, the rest, and I'll be fine. I'll be cool with that. But the fact you're not giving me that option and you can't tell me what I'm getting, I ain't sinking any money in. I'll consider it in 2 years once my normal things run out. It
makes sense, yeah. And you can get an actual free trial in 2 years' time.
And that's what I'll be doing. So it's kind of a shame, because it feels like it's the only one that I don't have now at this point of the premium subs.
But
I know 150 is cheap for the 2 years, but I don't necessarily want to buy into it for 2 years. Give me a week's trial.
Yeah.
Just now, but I can't because I'm already subbed. Like, it's nuts.
Silly. I did buy a new headset for Xbox. So I bought the same headset as you have, the wireless one. Not that one. The wireless Xbox Series headset, and
so you were sitting like this. Hold on, Andy.
Yeah,
hold on, like I do with you.
Like, it's cool. I like that.
It's cool, but I can never figure out what way's up and down. Now, one's a game, one's this.
Eventually, I get it to a point, and I'm like, just don't touch it again. Like, don't take it off till you're done. But yeah, I've found that's been much better, and it solved all my problems that I was having with Echo when I was playing online. So that was great.
But you used to get the Echo on PlayStation.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know what that was all about. This Xbox wireless headset does not do it, so
fair.
So that's great. And I much prefer that actually to the PlayStation headset. And I actually got rid of the PlayStation headset because
it's not as good. It's nowhere near as good. See, like bass wise and everything.
Yeah, totally. And like, it's not as comfortable either. And what I found is that I only used it on Xbox. So now that I bought this Xbox headset, I don't need the PlayStation headset because I haven't used my PlayStation headset for at least a year. Like on
Since
PlayStation.
Me and you last played was the last time I had PlayStation.
And I will play on PlayStation again online for sure, but I've got other headsets that I can just plug into the controller that will do the same job.
The thing is with the PlayStation headset, it's designed cool, it fits, but it made it sound like, oh my God, like it's a Pulse 3D headset. And I put it on, I went, suppose it sounds all right. And then I put the Xbox One in and turned it up, and I'm like, the bass on these, you did not expect them for the price. And it's like, these are proper meaty headphones. Try it with your phone with some music, and you'll really hear it. Unbelievable. Like, I put on, like, Batman Begins is one of the ones I use to test headphones because there's a lot of explosions in that, especially when he returns to town. And, like, oh my goodness, like, I was like, this is phenomenal. And as I've told you before, it's got Bluetooth 4, I think it is, or 5, the new one. So I can talk to you, hear the game, and listen to a podcast on my phone. It's unreal.
That's really cool, and I probably wouldn't do that, right? But like, I could potentially listen to a podcast and play a game at the same time because I do that using like my phone speaker. But it could be better to do it using the headset.
It is
'Cause
because sometimes when you use Spotify on the actual console or something, it mutes the game volume to, and it's kind of so. Whereas this
yeah.
headset separates them into 3 different levels, and it works really well.
So yeah, I'll definitely be trying that, and it's cool to have that feature. And like they're not dear anymore. Like I think it
I
cost me
don't
like
think they were dear when they came out.
no, I think this cost me like 60 quid or something like that. So
It was
fine.
I paid 80, I think it was day one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
reasonable for the quality you get. It's reasonable, really reasonable.
yeah. And it was dead easy to pair it as well, like just pushing the button. And it's
Xbox
like
Radio.
synced.
That's
Cool.
what it is. Boom.
Boom, done. You can't use it on PlayStation though. That's the one drawback. You cannot use it on PlayStation because I
I'm
did
sure
look
I
into it.
did. 100% sure I did.
You cannot at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because there's no cable with it, and there's no like dongle to plug it in, and it does not be recognized at all by PlayStation. So, that's the only one drawback, but like it's fine. I haven't played anything multiplayer on PlayStation for a long time at this point, so it's fine. So yeah, I got that, and I did buy some games with trading in that headset, but those will be saved for a pickups video coming soon.
I've actually, funny you say that, because when I was up getting my stuff for the show, I was looking, I was like, what's this bag? And see, when I cleaned out all underneath my TV, everything that Leo can wreck, I moved the stuff I use is in my cupboard upstairs now. I cleared out like games like I bought, and I'm like, I'm never going to play these. And it's like, there's loads of Switch games, there's PlayStation 5 games in there and stuff like Godfall and stuff like that I bought. I'm like, I've got a load of these I could trade, and I'm considering getting rid of my whole entire 4K collection because I'm like, what's the point now? Disney Plus here, like all my Star Wars is there. I'm not going to buy Star Wars again in 4K. Like I've got them on Blu-ray and DVD, and everything else I want, like fan edits and stuff, I've got on my hard drive. So I'm like, at this stage in my life, like really, with Netflix Prime, everything like that, I'm like, my 4K collection might as well go towards games. Like, excuse me. Get a bit of the cold. Like, obviously, my kid being back at school, you get the cold because.
Yeah, definitely.
But like, what do you call it? I did play another game as well, though, Andy, that I really want to re-recommend that I didn't talk about highly enough. I was playing it the other night. I don't know if you've seen Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Karate Kid Saga, the first one, because the second one's coming out soon. I'm like, do you know what? I want to play through it and finish it. So this game, I would still say it's a bit overpriced because it's not quite as solid as Streets of Rage 4, but it's a brawler. And if you like Cobra Kai, you're going to love it. At first, I thought, it's only going to be Miguel and Johnny. Tori joined, and I'm like, okay, that's my 3. Now I've just got 3 characters I can swap in and out.
Yeah.
You get insane special moves, but it's a video game. Like Johnny will do dragon uppercuts and stuff, and there's like moves with fire. It's fine. It's not canon, clearly. Johnny's not about to start setting fire to stuff.
Yeah.
But this is the point where I'm like, Andy might like this. If you see this in a sale, is what I would say, for £15 is about right. You get to a certain point where it follows kind of the storyline of the season 1 of Karate Kid, and Hawk joins, and I'm like, I get to play as Hawk because I like Hawk. I know he's your favorite character, but I don't like him as much as I like Robbie and stuff. And I'm like, this is really cool. And I'm like, this is fine, but I still always go back to Johnny. But Hawk's moves are awesome because he's got the cool like kick moves. He's got the cool spin kick move like Chun-Li almost. I'm like, this is brilliant. And then I find out you can unlock the Miyagi-Do dojo and you can play as Daniel-san and all them as well. And I'm like, this is phenomenal. And then I look at the game map and I thought it was just like the initial 4 stages. You know, your standard beat 'em up, you do 4 stages and that's you completed the game. The map's huge. You can go to like LaRusso Auto, you go to the school, you go to, and I'm like, this is great. So I would, this game did come out at too high a price, but I understand why, because of the size of the game. Like I think it was like £35. And see, when you see a game of this style, something in your brain goes, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. But it's not as good as Streets of Rage 4. But because I like Cobra Kai so much, I really enjoy this game. Like you're fighting off guys in skeleton costumes. There's some of the enemies are really cheap and they're awful. Like the police guy that he goes red, you can see he's going to punch you, but there's a guy with a bat that he continually just swings the bat, and you have to wait for a small opening, so you end up using like your Cobra Special, and like you got upgraded dojo, you've got massive skill trees for each character, and I'm like, this is actually way more in depth than I gave this game credit for. So for you being a Cobra Kai fan as well, if you see this in a sale it's about £15 or below, preferably, pick it up. Like I think I got it in a sale for like 20 odd, maybe £20.
Is it physical, that one, or is it digital only?
Physical as well, I believe.
Okay, cool. I'll keep an eye out for
that. But the sequel, what's it called? Cobra Kai. I'll just say Cobra Kai game. The Karate Kid saga continues. Physical. I think it's physical. The new one, the sequel is definitely physical. Yeah, you can get it. It's £18 at your work on PS4 or £18 on Xbox One Series X. So yeah, you can get it physical, but the sequel's out pretty soon. And I'm not quite sure when that is, but I'm excited for that because obviously Eagle Fang wasn't in the first 3 seasons, and now they're going to be in this one. And I really like Eagle Fang's my favorite dojo out of them all because it's stupid. Like Johnny gave an eagle teeth, but like bite like an eagle. So. Yeah, it really took me by surprise because I don't know why I was just looking through something. I didn't want something. I didn't want an RPG. I didn't want this. I didn't want that. And I'm kind of slowing it down because I'm chipping away at Skyward Sword, and I'm also waiting on. I keep calling it Gotham Knights, which it should have been called, but no, it is Gotham Knights. Arkham Knights. I keep calling it, but Arkham Knight was the last one. Gotham Knights is going to be great. Sonic Frontiers is coming, so I wanted something easy. And see this. Actually, I thought I would have finished it. I kept going, how much longer have I got to go here? Like, how longer can it be? And I'm like, holy fuck, this map is actually massive. I understand why they charged as much as they did, but I don't think they should have, because see if they'd made the game half the size.
They sold a lot more.
Yeah. It would have sold a lot more and made it half the price. Like, it would have sold loads. You put that out at $15.99, everyone's buying that deal that likes Cobra Kai. But you put it, I think they put it out at 40. I think this was a whole full price release when this game dropped, because it only came out like a year or two ago. But yeah, anyway, like I said, if you see this in a sale, or even if you see it or you grab it at your work, I think you might enjoy it. If you like beat 'em ups, which I know I like them more than you probably, but like for a Cobra Kai fan, like it's brilliant. If you're in the mood to play a game where you can play as, don't get me wrong, you only get Johnny and Miguel for like the first hour or two, like you don't get anyone else, but that matches up with season 1 because that's all that. It was only them two in Cobra Kai. And like I said, I didn't expect Hawk to join, and I had to fight, his friend Dimitri, obviously, the guy. I had to fight him at the cinema, and he's obviously not in Cobra Kai. So he's doing like wizard moves, and he's throwing like ice balls and stuff at me. And I'm like, do you know what? See, at the start of this, I was like, this is stupid. But now I get it. It's a video game based on Cobra Kai. Of course it's going to have moves like that. And it makes total sense that the guy that loved Dungeons and Dragons is throwing out like fireballs and stuff. And your moves do get crazier. You can expand on them. Your skill trees open up like defense, HP. Like you can totally customize your characters. Don't get me wrong, I've died quite a few times. And I've had to restart a checkpoint, but the checkpoints are reasonable. And the enemy waves do get more, but as they get more, the problem is I started playing this as like a beat 'em up, like Streets of Rage, where you want to conserve your special move because it drains your health and you only really get one a level. Seeing this, you just want to throw out all your special moves you can, just wipe them out, just beat them that way, and it's so much cooler. And I'm like, do you know what? This is a game Johnny would enjoy because Johnny likes his 80s games. He likes like his 80s style stuff and just everything about it. So I'm hoping to unlock the Miyagi-Do stuff, even though I don't really want to play much as Miyagi-Do. The only problem is I do like Robbie now again. I didn't like him in season 4. I like him now in season 5. Okay. Robbie was Miyagi-Do season 1. If you remember, he wasn't Cobra Kai till I think, was it season 2?
I mean, he's gone back and forward a couple of times, so
I don't want to ruin season 5 for you, but I don't think he'll be going back, but you kind of knew that after season 4, because he's seen what they'd done to Kenny, because they twisted his mind and he was shit by the end of it. So definitely this game. Like if anyone listening likes Cobra Kai and you see this game, I'd imagine it will hit a sale pretty soon because of the new one coming out. But yeah, it did come out physical as well for like you. The sequel, it's out in fall. I don't know if it's got a date. But yeah, don't get me wrong. This isn't going to be your game of the year, the best game you've played. But if you like Cobra Kai,
It's fun. Yeah, looks
Yeah,
fun.
it's fun. Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, that was the. Sorry for interjecting, but did you have anything else that you?
Just Resident Evil. I've been playing more of.
Oh, how are you
I
getting on?
I
Have you
still haven't
finished it?
finished. No. I still haven't finished it yet. It's taken me a lot longer because I don't know the layout of the mansion that well, or like the areas.
Mm.
So it takes me forever to go back and forward between places. I've been looking up a guide at times, but the guide that I'm following is fucking terrible. And like I haven't managed to find a better guide. But the guide's written by fucking Jared Petty, who is like he's been a kind of funny contributor. He's like the I don't know if you remember him. He's the bald guy.
I don't remember.
But he's been
I
on
didn't
things
always
for a while.
watch and
Yeah,
remember.
but he was always weird and he was always funny. But like this guy that he'd written obviously years ago, like years and years ago for IGN, is like so confusing and it misses out information and it's like go back to where you found this thing. I'm like, I don't fucking remember where that was. Like, and I'm trying to have to look up like what this thing is and where I found it. Like, so yeah, a lot of backtracking in this game. I don't know if you found that like when you played it originally, but you're going back and forward
Yeah.
so much. It's unreal. I'm liking the game though. Like it's fun and I like the kind of the vibe of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing on the easiest difficulty so I can get through it as quick as I can, and it's taking me forever. But I'm finding that I don't run out of bullets anymore because I've picked up tons of bullets, and like I don't have too many problems with the enemies or anything like that. I still get fright from enemies from time to time. To be fair, like the tentacles have got me several times. The same fucking tentacle. Every time I think like, oh, it's I know it's there, but I'm not getting hit, and it's like bam. And because I get to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm past it now. It's definitely not getting me, and then it just gets me. I'm like, fucking wee dick. But now I'm at the point I think where I'm going to like the tunnels under the mansion. So, but I need to find my way back to there, which is taking me a while because I can't remember how to get there. Like, so I'm going all around and trying to fucking get back out. Oh, it's a slog to do that because I've cleared out most of the actual mansion, the main mansion bit now. I've been to all the rooms, and now I just need to find where the tunnel is, which is like you remember the bit where you're outside and there's like a waterfall. It's like out there somewhere, and there's a lift you have to go in because I've got this battery now that I can work this lift, but I can't remember how to get back to that waterfall bit.
Yeah.
So that's
once
that's
you get through
problem.
this one, you're gonna be fairly second and third easily.
Yeah. So like I did buy the second one. So I've got that now ready to go. Just as soon as I finish two, then as soon as I finish one, then I'm going to two. Because I think I'll enjoy that much more because it's obviously been remade for more modern with all the modern things in it. So I'll be able to control it.
Because what you're playing is a GameCube game. It's effectively 20
totally.
years old at this stage. And I mean, it still plays okay, but like it's not one that I would rush back to play. Even me playing through it again it was becoming a slog. And it's not that the game's boring, it's just that it doesn't make it easy for the player. Like nothing's obvious. And I know that was part of the puzzles, but these days it's like, why can't I have a map that I can put markers on? Not even waypoints that show up, just so that I can open the map and go, okay, it's in there. You know, because sometimes in the game it will mark something for you, and it's like, here it is. And it's like, well, why can't I do that anyway? Why can't I just put an X in a room? Like some of those games let you do, but anyway. It's worth playing through because I think it's still a great game, and it's good because I think as long as you don't take too long with 2, you can get through 3 really quick before 4 arrives. Because 4, as far as I know, is March. Oh, that Cobra Kai 2 game's out in October, by the way.
Okay, cool.
So,
but yeah, I don't think this is going to take me too much longer to finish. Maybe another few sessions, and I'll be done with it. Because I've got into grips with the mechanics now of how everything works, and like I kind of know how the puzzles work, and I'm able to kill the zombies and stuff, no problem now. I can kill the hunters and things that come after me because I've got shotgun, and I've got a grenade launcher though I've not used it yet because I'm imagining there's bosses that I'm going to need to use it on, so I'm kind of saving it for that. So I've got a grenade launcher and a bunch of rounds like just stashed in my.
See, the thing is, like there is bosses coming, especially one big boss, but like a lot of the times in Resident Evil I'll find myself like end of the game just 0 health fighting the last boss, but I've got like 50 herbs stashed just in case. I've got like full bullets and a shotgun that I've never used because I'm too worried. And then the problem is it never gives you a prompt where it's like it might be wise to use the shotgun going forward, and you're I'll just I'll just stay. I'll just leave it. I don't want to, in case I don't have any bullets and I come across a boss. And that's how I play every Resident Evil game. And by the end of every single game when I finish, Andy, I've always got like grenade rounds, like poison rounds, flame rounds. Like Resident Evil 3, especially when I recently finished that one, like my item box was full of stuff that I could have used to make things easier for myself. But I just was like, oh no, I might need this.
Yeah, I'm definitely liking the game. I just wish it controlled a little bit better and was maybe just a little bit less obtuse about where you have to go. But like aside from that, I like it. Like the vibe of it is it's a cool vibe, and I like the environments. There's not really much story in this game. Like the story,
but you're just taking a while to get through it.
No. I mean, I'm getting the story from like the little books and stuff you pick up. So there's these little weird things of like, oh, I was a scientist and I had to kill myself and stuff like this. You're like, holy fuck, like what has happened here?
Itchy tasty,
exactly. Yeah, that sort of shit. So that stuff's really cool because I never knew what that was from, and like now I know what it is. So that's cool. But yeah, I'm liking the vibe and I'm liking the idea of the game, and I can see how it can build into like a good franchise. And I'm looking forward to playing the good games next.
Yeah, if you liked it a bit more, I would have definitely said go back and try Zero because it's obviously in the same engine and stuff. But I mean, it's a tough ask when you don't really need to know what happened in Zero because you end up rescuing Rebecca in one anyway, so it doesn't matter. And they've never brought back up Billy from the game ever again. So he was the other guy that was in the game, the secondary character. He's never came back into it. What I would love them to do is like redo one in the 2 engine. Like I've said this before in the show, but I think that would be absolutely phenomenal, and I think they could make it work. They probably will because it looks like they want a Resident Evil game out every year. Even though 4 has been pushed a wee bit because of COVID delays, but
yeah, I can see them doing it.
Yeah,
it definitely needs it. Like for a modern gamer, like it's difficult to play.
Yeah, so I think it's good by the time that you get to 8. That you've got your third person mode because I don't think it worked as well. I think the shock value of 7 being in first person worked, but then see because 8 went more action based, because they said that 7 was too scary that a lot of people didn't play it. Remember them saying that, so they toned down the horror. And it's like, but you've made an action game with a shit first person. Like first person was fine if it was just like let me run away or explore things. But see, when you're wanting me to use first person to actually fight things now, it's like this isn't working. Like it's not quick enough. It's a bit clunkier. Like it's designed clunky to promote fear, and you've took the fear out of the game. It's more now you want me to turn around and fight these vampire ladies, but I can't because the movement's so rubbish. So I'm glad that they've added the third person mode in. I'm glad I never finished 8 and I only start because I'll happily restart it if my save doesn't load. Because even the part that I remember being stuck at, remember I told you the kind of corner off every time I load the save. It's like I'm stuck here. I think I'll be able to do it in third person because it gives me a better viewpoint. So
yeah, totally.
I'm happy for that. But I still think 7 worked really well first person. I still really do. And I think Resident Evil 9 now at this point will launch with both options. I think you'll get first person and third now. I think that's the way forward because some folk really like the first and I just don't for action. If you release 9 and it's more like 7, I'll play it first person because it worked for the horror aspects. 7's the most terrifying game in the entire series. Absolutely. So like 8 wasn't as scary. But yeah, I'm so glad. But the only problem for you now is because you'll probably get to 4 either about its launch or just after, depending if you go straight to Resident 2. That's what I'd imagine you'd be able to get to time-wise, right? So if you finish 4, it's then you're not. I don't even know if they're going to remaster 5 because there's been no talk about it, and 5 still plays and looks really well. So, but then do you want to jump in 5 and 6 and then finish them, and then they're like, oh, okay, we're doing the remaster. Like that would suck. But do you want to hold off for so long? It's like me with the Wind Waker. Like my Wii U's been up and down the stairs more than my shoes.
I think it depends how much I like 2, 3, and 4. Like
I think you're going to love them. I've got a prediction that your favorite game is going to be 2. I think you're going to like 2 the best, and I think you're going to really like 4. I don't know because it's a remake, but I know what sort of games you like, and I think it's going to be 2 is your favorite.
Cool. But yeah, I mean, if I really like 2, then I'll go to 3, and if I like 2 and 3, then I'll go to 4. And then if I like those a lot, then I'll just continue on. Probably
you won't like 3 because it's my favorite. You won't like 3 because it's my favorite. I know that. 3's short though. 3's like quick. You can finish that in a good 2 weeks playing.
Okay.
Like, and I would recommend like turn the difficulty down.
Yeah, I'm not going to play these games on hard. Like, I want to not have to
Enjoy
worry
the story.
about, yeah, and like not have to worry too much about scrounging for fucking bullets and whatnot. Like,
Yeah, like we discussed before in the show, I used to play games in hard. Those days for me are done. It's like
yeah,
I don't want to get my money's worth out of a game. I want to fucking finish it because game times these days is few and far between. So if I've got a game that I'm stuck for more than 2 nights at, then I'm getting rid. I'm not. So I just play the game on normal now or
yeah.
easy.
I mean, I'll generally start playing a game on normal unless it's a game that I want to burn through. Like this game, like Resi 1. And I did it a couple of times. I did it with that Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order. I did that on easy, and it was fun.
A difficult game at all.
It wasn't. Well, I mean, I didn't play it on normal, but I had fun with it. Like I felt like a badass for the entire game, which was what I wanted to because I was a Jedi.
I'm currently playing through that on New Game Plus on Jedi Master mode. It's tough then.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, no, I've never really played games on hard. There's 1 or 2 games that like they have the default mode as hard, basically, where like Elden Rings and Bloodborne and stuff. So I've played those. Like if I want to play a hard game, I'll play one of them. Like I don't need to fucking artificially make a different game harder. I'll just play a Bloodborne game.
No, I'm totally there now because you know what I used to be like years ago. It's like, oh, you're playing easy play. See now, like now that I've got kids, I'm like, see if I need to and I want to finish this game because I know another one's coming. I'm playing it on easy. Like there's some games that I want to last and some games that I won't want to finish quick. But most of the time these days, it's like I need to get this out the road.
I mean, as long as you enjoy it, it doesn't matter what difficulty you play it on. I don't care.
No.
If you play it on easy, fine. If you play it on the very fucking hardest difficulty, if you like that,
I think
fine.
It used to be more. The reason I started playing games on hard was the 360 when I was achievement hunting. And if you finished it in hard, you got like your normal and easy achievements as well. So instead of playing it through twice, then you just played it through once. But I don't care about achievements and trophies now anyway. And like, I just want to play games and finish them. So
I didn't play anything else. That's all I played.
Cool. So yeah, like we said, it's disappointing PlayStation, disappointing Nintendo showcase. Like, what if Xbox comes out with a banger tomorrow? Just goes, hold my beer, and then comes out and just goes, look, bump, bump, bump. Here's a workout. They're not going to, but they could.
Not going to.
Because like the disappointing thing is, Nintendo had Xbox had a great lineup for the end of the year, and then like Starfield got delayed and stuff, and it's like you've got nothing. You had nothing in the background prepared for this. Okay, so what's coming out for Xbox? And they've just went.
Nothing at all. A controller.
Nothing. What control? Oh, the cheaper version of the Elite 2. Yeah, it's not even the Elite 3. It's just what they've done is they've took away the carry case and all the accessories that I never used anyway. And it's like we've took 60 quid off the price. And I'm like, I would happily have bought that version because see my carry case, guess what? I took the controller out and all the paddles and bullshit. Fuck that. Go away. I just want the controller. Like, I don't want to be sitting here like quick fire. Just give me a controller that feels better. And that's what it did. So I've never used that carry case or anything like that. But now at this stage, it's like, you know, the Elite 3 is next year. It has to be with the haptics and whatnot.
For sure, yeah.
So why would you buy an Elite 2 at this time? That's another reason for them making it cheap to try and shift the remaining stock that they've got.
Yeah, the last shells, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So nah, I wouldn't bother with that. It says the guy that owns 4 fucking Switch Pro controllers, but two of them I just really wanted. The Monster Hunter ones, they look really cool, and I'm pretty sure those will go up in value at some point because Monster Hunter stuff generally does. And my Splatoon 2 controller, I've had that since 2017, whenever the last one came out. Yeah. I've had it since then. Because Nelson, for some reason, said I'm playing everything handheld now, and then like a week later, bought another Pro controller. I'm like, make your mind up. So I've got this Splatoon one anyway. The one that I really wanted was Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but that sold out like instantly and never came back in stock. Like, and if you buy it now, it's like £100 odd plus. I'm like, I'm not paying that for a £50 controller. They're really good controllers, but like,
definitely.
The special editions, when they sell out, their prices just shoot up. And I've just got a feeling that because the Monster Hunter Rise one probably more so than the Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, will go up a lot more than Monster Hunter Rise because it was a niche type. It was a DLC based. Well, it's not DLC really because it was standalone as well. There's another game. I need to get into the right mood to start that. But see, when I put it back on, I'm like transferring stuff and like, okay, where am I? And then there was a few missions I had to beat in Monster Hunter Rise in order to get certain stuff. And I'm like, it's cool that they've added this, but I just want the option just to start it. Like, and I just wasn't in the mood to play Monster Hunter, which was a phenomenal game. You remember, I loved that game when it came out. Was it last year, year before?
Yeah.
It was my first Monster Hunter game, so I was excited for that DLC. And well, I keep saying it. You know what I mean? The new one, and I've just never got around to playing it. Just this game this year does feel like it's been shit for games, but there's been a lot of games out this year, and a lot of them have moved to next year. So we will finish up things there. But thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Check out our Nintendo Direct coverage and our PlayStation coverage as well. We've done 3 shows tonight, technically. So 3 weeks, 3 shows tonight. So we've made up for the last 2 weeks, in my mind. Hopefully, we'll see you next week for a normal show. We'll probably have Tokyo Game Show stuff to talk about next week. I'd imagine, unless we do something over the weekend, if either obviously free and can be bothered, which is not very. I've probably got writing to do. So anyway, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.